So thank you. It's great to have you here with us today, Gaurav.
Pleasure.
And you know what's interesting about Prime Video is that you've been able to bring that Indianness, that ethos to the ecosystem. So what exactly has been your content strategy over the years since you launched?
Yeah, so it's now going to be 10 years to Prime Video in December and 10 years to Prime now. So I think from our end, when we looked at Prime Video launching in the country, we talked about two things. One, India is a very, very diverse country in terms of audiences, languages, culture, and the taste and preferences. So first thing was to program across multiple languages. So we started programming across 10 languages. Um, you know, and then we looked at these white spaces to say, like, if you want to be a service where we're going to actually, in many ways, build the category of subscription video. Because when we launched, really, streaming video was very early stages and was largely ad supported. We had to we should think about like two distinct spaces that we could potentially, program that were unique in that time. One was India had never actually created long form cinematic value quality content, scripted content. And while we had TV series running for a long duration of time, hundreds of episodes, really the high concept ones were never done in the country. So original content in that sense, the way we developed over time was unique, and we were the first at it. The second part was that India is a country that loves its movies, and the fact that we make so many films, but we are so underscreened in terms of number of screens per capita. With just 10,000 screens in the country, most movies would just be there for a few weeks on theaters, and many don't even sort of get to be in theaters across the country, would only be in that geographic part. So we talked about how we could actually bring movies closer to those customers, soon after their theatrical release, and then make it truly pan-Indian in that sense, and ensure that the country gets to watch all of these movies. So a combination of high quality, cinematic value series and movies to come to customers quickly after theatrical release was how we started out. Of course, we are a global service and we bring our best of global content. We brought that piece in. And then over the years, we've built ourselves as an entertainment hub with our core offering in Prime and subscription. But we also add movie rentals. We've added more selection with add-on services, and then, of course, with AWOD content with MX.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been our journey.
So you've been very intentional with being pan-India, right?
Yeah.
So what today do you think resonates with the Indian audience largely?
I think streaming in general, and Prime Video has played a big role there, has ensured that, both geography and language are no longer barriers to stories traveling, whether it's about in the country or around the world. And if you think about authentic stories, from in any language, which really provide a strong emotional connect, can actually resonate in any part of the world today. It doesn't matter where they come from. So this theme we see generally resonating across the board. Characters that can really connect with you. So that's really been our journey as well, and we look at numerous examples of that. From our local shows that travel deeply in the country, pan-India, or around the world. Connection people have with our shows like Family Man or Panchayat or Mirzapur, and so many more in India and then around the world, or so many global shows and series that just connect so well in customers in India as well. The recent example being Off Campus.
Got it. So what is your long-term ambition that you see for Prime Video?
We see Prime Video as an entertainment hub, offering deep selection to our customers across the board, and as a service that brings the best of global and local content to our customers in the country. We want to be a service that is watched and enjoyed and loved by viewers across the country. In that sense, we want to be the home for best talent. We want a home to be for the best IPs and stories. We want a home for customers to actually spend their time on, and trying to, immerse themselves in these stories across day in and day after. And then I think we also play a bigger role for Indian content, not just in India, but also to make sure these stories travel around the world. So we are, as I always say, it's still very early days in streaming. There's so much opportunity in front of us, but we're very happy with how the progress has been in the last 10 years for us, this journey.
Yeah. So interestingly, how have global audiences responded to Indian IPs?
I think it's been a fascinating journey so far. Again, if you look at before streaming, you would see Indian movies would release in certain countries around the world, the typically diaspora countries. You would get certain TV channels carried in certain countries where there were more Indian audiences or non-resident Indians staying there, but you never really had Indian content released day and date around the world in hundreds of countries. And I think it's been fascinating for us to be able to see the response to that for customers, from customers around the world. And it's been great as, again, a point I was making was category creation. As we call it in the business terms, when you expand the TAM or target addressable market for any kind of a product or category, this is a great example of that how actually you expanded the TAM itself for all of this content around the world. Suddenly these movies and shows release and are loved and watched by viewers around the world in hundreds of countries on the opening weekend. Really creates a big tailwind for not just our content but for the category itself. So I think there's been a great response. We see 25% of our viewing base of many of these shows coming from outside the country. We see great resonance of and love for characters, from around the world. We see, lots of demand, and it's not just, one show or one movie. I think we see it across the board and with movie after movie and show after show that we launch. So I think with this tailwind of growing demand for Indian content coming in from around the world, I see a great opportunity overall for our creators and makers and our talent to do much more stuff much more in this space, and it'll only grow from here.
That's awesome.